Beyond the Map Story. Number 8. Alright, buckle up buttercups, 'cause this one's a slow burn but oh so satisfying. 32M. The Language of Lost Letters. So, a bit of backstory. My grandma passed away a few months ago. It was rough, she was the best. Left me her old house, which needed a ton of work, but it was hers, you know? Sentimental value through the roof. My sibling, we'll call them S, was supportive at first. Helped me clear out some of the junk, that kind of thing. Then the letters. Grandma was a big letter writer. Found a whole box of them in the attic, tied up with faded ribbon. They were mostly to her sister, my great-aunt, who passed years ago. I started reading through them, just to feel closer to Grandma, you get it? And then I found it. A letter, tucked away at the bottom. Different handwriting. Addressed to Grandma. It was from S. Dated about 5 years back. The gist. S was in deep with some online betting thing. Needed cash. And they'd somehow convinced Grandma to loan them a significant chunk of her savings. Like, life-changingly significant. The letter was full of promises to pay her back. How it was just a temporary thing. Thing is, Grandma never mentioned it. Not once. And knowing her, she wouldn't have had that kind of money just lying around without talking about it. My blood ran cold. This wasn't a loan. This was S taking advantage of her. I didn't confront S right away. I just felt numb. Betrayed doesn't even cover it. This wasn't some petty squabble. This was about someone I was supposed to trust manipulating my sweet old grandma. So, I started documenting. Every detail. The date on the letter, the handwriting, definitely S's, I've seen it a million times. The estimated amount based on some of Grandma's later bank statements I found. I kept it all organized. Like a damn detective. Didn't tell a soul. Just let it simmer. Update 1. The quiet before the storm, about a month later. Been keeping my head down, playing it cool with S. They haven't said a word about Grandma's money. Acts like everything's normal. Which, honestly, makes my stomach churn. Started talking to a lawyer. Just a consultation. Wanted to know my options. Turns out, depending on how the money was transferred and Grandma's state of mind at the time, which, bless her, was sharp as a tack, there might be grounds for, well, something. The lawyer said it could get messy, involve proving undue influence. But the letter is a pretty solid piece of evidence. The lawyer advised me to keep quiet for now. Don't tip S off. Let them keep thinking they got away with it. Easier to build a case that way, apparently. It's hard, pretending everything's fine. We had dinner with our parents last week, and S was all smiles, talking about their latest investment opportunities. I just nodded and ate my mashed potatoes, bile rising in my throat. But I'm playing the long game here. Grandma deserved better. And S is gonna learn that actions have consequences. Even the ones hidden in old letters. Update 2. The unraveling, about 2 weeks after Update 1. Things are starting to move. My lawyer sent a formal letter to S. Nothing accusatory, just a polite inquiry about some financial matters related to Grandma's estate, mentioning the letter. The reaction was immediate. My phone blew up with frantic texts from S. Asking what I knew, saying it was all a misunderstanding, that Grandma wanted to help them. The classic gaslighting. I kept my replies short and vague. Just looking into everything, the lawyer is handling it, that kind of thing. Didn't give them an inch. Then came the calls. Sobbing, pleading. Saying they were going through a tough time, that they always intended to pay her back. Funny how that intention never materialized in the 5 years since. I stayed calm. Told them I needed to do what I thought was right for Grandma's memory. That the letter spoke for itself. The real kicker? Our parents got involved. S ran to them, painting themselves as the victim, saying I was trying to ruin their life. Mom called, sounding worried and confused. Dad was more skeptical, I could tell. He always had a good read on S. I laid it all out for them. Showed them a copy of the letter. The dates. The estimated amount. The silence on the other end of the phone was deafening. Mom was heartbroken. Dad was just angry. He said he'd talk to S. Haven't heard from S directly in a few days. But the lawyer says they've contacted him, wanting to discuss a settlement. Settlement. As if this is some kind of business dispute. Nah. This is about trust. About family. About doing what's right. Final update. Justice served, sort of, about a month after update 2. Well, folks, it's over. Sort of. S finally agreed to pay back the full amount they took from Grandma. Every single penny. Plus some extra to cover the legal fees I incurred. The lawyer made sure of it. It wasn't easy. There were a lot of tense phone calls, a couple of awkward face-to-face meetings with our parents present. S tried to play the victim card right up until the end, but the letter was undeniable. Dad was surprisingly firm, told S they needed to take responsibility for their actions. Mom was mostly just sad, disappointed. The money has been transferred. It's sitting in an account, earmarked for the renovations Grandma wanted to do on the house but never got around to. It feels right. Like I honored her memory in some small way. As for S and me, things are strained, to say the least. We haven't spoken much since the settlement. I don't know if we'll ever have the same relationship again. The trust is just gone. Maybe someday, down the line, but not now. It wasn't about revenge. Not really. It was about accountability. About making sure S understood the gravity of what they did. And in that, I think I succeeded. It wasn't the explosive confrontation some of you might have expected. No dramatic courtroom scenes. Just quiet,